welcome to another episode on my channel. It's still your girl Fentola, and of course we are going to be looking at some of the results across the top 5 leagues in Europe with the matches that have been played, some match day 2, some match day 3. But yes, we're just going to do more like a rundown of some of the results and see what the result that some teams got, going into the international break. And of course, we'll start off with the Premier League, where Chelsea played out a 2-0 win against Fulham. That was more like a West London derby, and it was quite interesting because I feel that Chelsea, for one, still not into the season yet. I feel like they are still getting an effect of the FIFA Club World Cup that was played, and so some players you might see not playing up to the usual standards. Some you will see, especially the likes of Enzo Fernandez, who is also one of the captains in the squad, not up to par yet. But of course, there are some players that have kept up the standard. One of them obviously is Cucurella, Caicedo, João Pedro, who also has scored and I think assisted in the last 2 games. So it's been a steady progression for some of the players. But so far, Chelsea was able to get a 2-0 win in that one, although there were also some official controversy as to the calls, in especially the one of the penalty given, the goal cancelled for Fulham before Chelsea went on to score, and that was in the first half. Yes, I don't know, the VAR still has a lot of working on to be done, and I just hope the PGMOL is able to get some things right. But it's still the 3rd game of the season, so yes, people will say yes, it's the 3rd game and a lot of errors are being made, especially from the VAR, and it's not doing the job that is expected for it to do. But then again, I feel like people need to calm down. So yes, Chelsea were able to get all 3 points in that particular game. Another game for me was Manchester United, by stroke of luck and a penalty, beating Burnley 3-2 at home. Now, I still don't know how Amorim is going to handle that team, but I still feel like there's still a lot of work to do, and I still want to believe that the players especially still have a lot of things to change about their mindset, the way their confidence level, how they play on the field, because there's only much the coach can do. And so if the players are not up to par, there's absolutely nothing the coach can do about it. He will only try to get them, put that confidence in them and get them to get the result, to see the vision. And if they are not seeing it, it's going to be difficult. And unfortunately, the coach is the one who gets sacked, if the team is not playing well. So I just hope that is done and gotten over the line. But they were able to get their first win of the season, beating new sides, Burnley. Even though Burnley gave them a tough time, they really did give them that hard match. So, but they were able to get the 3 points over the line, and it was a 3-2 win for Manchester United in that one. Another shocker for me was Man City, and I won't say I'm even surprised, because I've said it, I think, in the last 2 matches they've played, that Man City defense, it's in shambles at the moment. So I'm not even surprised that they lost to Brighton. Brighton were obviously playing at home. But then again, you look at Man City squad, and I don't know what Guardiola is trying to do with that squad yet. Yes, they have good players going forward, attacking-minded players, but when it comes to defense, they still struggle a lot. And that was exactly what happened when they faced this Brighton team. And I think they even struggled against them last season. So it's no surprise. Looking at their last match against Tottenham, they weren't even able to respond to the 2 goals that Tottenham scored. Well, you know what? I don't know. Pep has to do something. He really does have to do something about that squad. And I hope he's able to get the team running. But then again, it's Man City. I think for the last 2 seasons, they've struggled to start well. but end up doing so well probably in the last 20 games of the season, which was what we saw last season. For them to qualify for the Champions League was a surprise for me. So most times I don't judge teams with their first few games of the season. I start to judge teams when it gets into January, December, January, February, and the results they get from their games. And so seeing them struggle at the beginning of the season, I'm not really fussed about it. I won't even lie, I'm not. So it's probably just, yes, another loss in the first 3 games. Pep is going to find a way to get the team working again, so I'm not surprised. But Tottenham losing at home to Burnley, I don't know. I don't know, because looking at them beating Man City and you say, oh yes, they've been playing well, they won their first 2 games, they're losing to Bournemouth. I'm not, you know what, I'm actually not surprised that they lost to Burnley, because Burnley gave Liverpool in the first game of the season a tough time. Liverpool were just lucky to get away with a 4-2 win in that game. And so meeting Tottenham, that I know also doesn't really have good defense yet, or let me say they are not a bit steady yet, I'm not even surprised. I'm honestly not surprised that they lost that game. As I said, it's a Bournemouth side that is really good. They are really sturdy, and so I'm not shocked that Tottenham lost that one, but I did expect them to get a draw. To be honest, I did, but it's the game. It's the game. So yes, they move on from that. As I said, it's international break, so they will take a break and then return with a fresh mindset, hopefully. Well, away from Tottenham, it's Liverpool, and that was obviously the game of the weekend, Liverpool against Arsenal. Liverpool won that game literally in about 5 minutes to the end of the game. And it was a very beautiful goal from Szoboszlai, a free kick actually. And I won't lie, I am actually quite pissed that Liverpool were able to get away with the win, because I actually wanted them to end in a draw, to be honest, because I feel like that would make much sense, because both sides have, and I do think Liverpool probably deserved a point, and Arsenal also did deserve a point. You know, looking at the dynamics of the game itself, it was end to end, both sides. I don't think there were actually any clinical finishes from both sides, and so a point would have been the best result. But then again, Liverpool do what they know how to do best. And if you see from last season, they got, you know, a lot of 3 points from games literally at the time you don't even expect them to. And so seeing them win this one, yes, I honestly don't know if I should say I am happy that Arsenal lost the game, but to be honest, I would have been happier if it was a draw. But it is what it is. Arsenal have recorded their first loss of the season, and Liverpool so far have won 3 games out of 3. And then West Ham eventually got their first win of the season, beating Nottingham Forest. That was another shocker for me, because yes, I know West Ham have not won their last 2 games, losing in terrible fashion. But then again, they've now won their first, at least they've won 1 game so far before the international break. So maybe they can give Graham Potter a breather. And then obviously Newcastle drew against Leeds. I've always said that Leeds is a very tricky team, so I'm not even surprised that that ended in a draw. Although Newcastle tried to get all 3 points in that game, but Leeds is playing at home, I didn't think it was obviously going to be possible for Newcastle to win, to be honest. And so that was a goalless draw in that one. And then in La Liga, we have Barcelona play out a 1-1 draw against Rayo Vallecano. Now, a lot of people know that Barcelona play this high line. And so definitely, I've said it, that Rayo Vallecano are a very tricky team. So I expected Barcelona to actually win maybe 1-0 or even 2-1 or something. I knew they were going to concede. And so seeing them play out a 1-1 draw, it brings a lot of question as to what to expect from them in the Champions League, especially when they play the likes of maybe Chelsea, Arsenal, that play these quick counter-attack games. Well, I want to believe Hansi Flick is going to solve that issue quickly. So let's see how that goes when the Champions League starts later this month. And also, Real Madrid were lucky to 1 winners over Mallorca. Atletico Madrid played out 1-1 draw away to Deportivo Alaves. Well, as I said, Diego Simeone is still going to get the team playing well, but yeah, it's just, I think, the 3rd game of the season, so please, let's give them a breather. And then PSG obviously were returned to their normal self of scoring a lot of goals, and they did score 6 against Toulouse, although they did concede 3 also, but Ousmane Dembele scored 2 goals, João Neves scored a hat-trick, and yeah, I think they're still getting a hang of, getting back into the system as to, playing extra games in the Club World Cup. So yeah, but they've won 3 games anyways, 1-0 in the first 2 games, and then 6-3 against Toulouse. It's 3 points in each games, and that's 3 wins out of 3 for PSG. And then Lyon were 1-0 winners over Marseille. So far, you would think that, oh, it's like a derby, because usually Olympique Marseille and Olympique Lyon, it's always a very feisty clash between these 2 sides. So I'm not even surprised that Lyon were able to get the 3 points. Also, Lyon have won 3 games out of 3, and they've so far not conceded any goals in the last 3 games. So I think they've been keeping the progression really, really well. And let's see what happens when they return to league games. But so far, that's what it's been for in the French League on. And then obviously we move over to Bundesliga, where Bayern Munich were 3-2 winners over Augsburg. Obviously, they were playing away from home. Luis Diaz scoring on that one. Olise also obviously on the score sheet. Well, it's also 3 wins out of 3 for Bayern Munich, so they are getting the points needed. Bayer Leverkusen were 3-3 draw against Werder Bremen. They've still not gotten into the system yet, and unfortunately for their coach, and I'm talking of Erik ten Hag now, former Manchester United coach, it was sacked after the game. And I think probably the expectation that the owners of the club wanted from him, he hasn't given them that yet. So they felt, the earlier the better. It was sacked after the game. And then obviously you go to Italia Serie A, where Napoli were 1-0 winners over Cagliari. Inter unfortunately lost at home. They lost to Udinese. It was a 2-1 loss for them, and I'm surprised, to be honest. But you know what? They brought in 1 or 2 other players, which I'm going to talk about in the transfer, my next video about the transfer window. But they've now brought in 1 or 2 players. Hopefully they can get sorted with the defense especially. But to end this particular video, Atalanta played out a 1-1 draw against Parma. Now, those are the results of some of the games over the weekend, some match day 3, some match day 2. And now they've gone for international break. Some players have been called to the national team to represent the team. I think some teams are supposed to be playing the World Cup qualifiers. And so they have the time to take a little bit of a breather for the next 2 weeks before they come back for league fixtures again. But one thing I would definitely want to say is a lot of teams are still trying to get into the rhythm of the league back, especially the likes of Real Madrid that went far in, in the Club World Cup, the likes of Chelsea, the likes of Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah, they went far in that competition, and so they might probably take a bit of time to get into the rhythm of things. Some of them might even have to deal with injuries, but let's see how it goes. But please, please, please give them that time to get back into the rhythm of things. A lot of fans especially put pressure on not just the players, but even the coach to get results. But please take it easy on your teams, because I know you love the team, you want them to get the results and all that, but easy easy does it, right? Easy does it. That's how much I'll be talking about on this particular video. In my next video, I would be obviously be talking about the transfer window that closed officially yesterday, and some of the transfers that have been done within clubs around the top 5 leagues. But that's how much I'll be talking about today. Don't forget to follow me on all our social media handles at _officialfsh. Also, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section. Share with your friends, and also please subscribe. And for those that have done that, thank you. I love you. I appreciate it. But please bring more family members, friends, colleagues to the platform. I love you guys, and of course, until I come your way again, it's bye for now.